Hello friends in Caldwell County. On behalf of the Caldwell County EDC Board of Directors and our Executive Director, Ms. Deborah Murray, I want to welcome you to the Caldwell County EDC celebration. As many of you know, we normally have this event in January at the Civic Center with a great meal and great fellowship as we celebrate Caldwell County's economic development successes of the prior year. And as we all know too well at this point, COVID has robbed us of so many opportunities to gather, to celebrate, and to experience many of the events that we look forward to every year. We kept delaying this event in hopes of being able to gather together in person. But even with the recent easing of many of the restrictions, we were still unable to gather with the large number of people that typically attend the EDC celebration. So like many events this past year, we are having a virtual celebration of Caldwell County's 2020 economic development successes. And what I want you to know is this: a global pandemic might have kept us from being able to celebrate in person, but it did not stop Caldwell County from moving forward with numerous economic development milestones this past year. COVID has been hailed as the great revealer, and I think that is very true. What it revealed to me about Caldwell County is that we are a place that has amazing people who work together for the betterment of our community, no matter the circumstances. We are a place that thrives under pressure, and we are a place of great resiliency and determination. And we are a place that values, appreciates, and believes in the power of partnerships. This past year, we accomplished so much together, and we didn't want those achievements to go unrecognized. So thank you for joining us in this virtual event as we celebrate this past year's many economic development accomplishments in Caldwell County.
Hello to my friends in Caldwell County, and congratulations to our EDC on a tremendous year despite the great challenges faced during the global pandemic. It's my honor to be with you today to introduce North Carolina House Speaker Tim Moore. Speaker Moore is currently serving in his fourth term as Speaker of the North Carolina House of Representatives, which is a record for any Republican in our state's history. Under Speaker Moore's leadership, the General Assembly has passed historic tax and regulatory reform, making North Carolina one of the best places in the world to do business. During my time in the General Assembly, Speaker Moore has been a great ally for Caldwell County, and it's been my honor to serve as his top lieutenant in the State House as the chairman of the House Rules Committee. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming my friend, the Speaker of the North Carolina House of Representatives, Tim Moore.
Well, it's good to be with you all. Certainly appreciate the hard work that you all have done in Caldwell County. Really not just for Caldwell County, but for our entire region of the state. Being a resident of Cleveland County, I'm literally down the hill from you, and quite often visit Caldwell County, both to go get in some of the great hikes, but also have some clients that way in my law practice. I'm really proud of what, frankly, our entire western region of the state has done. But you know, it's part of a larger puzzle if you look at the changes that have happened over the last decade in North Carolina. I've been in the General Assembly since 2003 when I was elected in 2002. I came in a time when there were different folks in charge and there were different priorities. I've served during a period of time when we saw the Great Recession hit in 2008 and 2009. I saw some of the answers that those who were in charge at the time looked at, such as higher taxes and increased regulations. And after the 2010 election, I had the opportunity to be serving in the majority, and of course honored that since that date have been serving in the majority. And also honored, of course, to be now serving my fourth term, or my, I guess now, seventh year as the Speaker of the North Carolina House. One of the priorities that we made when we took the majority, and that I've made and continued since being the Speaker, is that we have to make North Carolina as business friendly as possible. You know, I looked around for years and saw our neighboring states that were paying lower taxes, that had less regulation, that had fewer folks unemployed. And I said, North Carolina can do better. Well, guess what? Not only have we done better than what we did, we've passed most all of our neighbors. We now have some of the lowest taxes in the nation. We've had the lowest unemployment prior to COVID that we had seen in this state for decades. Whereas in the past, we governed worrying about where next year's revenues are going to come from. Now we're at a point where we've been able to have budget surpluses even when we've been confronted with things like natural disasters like hurricanes, with COVID-19, things that were often unforeseen. And I do want to mention COVID-19 and how important it is, as this is. Many of you in business have personally struggled and know the challenges that you have faced during COVID, both in terms of getting goods to market, in terms of being able to provide services, oftentimes finding folks who can work and do the job. That is not lost on me, and it's not lost on my colleagues. That's why we have worked hard to continue to make sure the regulations that are in place make sense, that business is not overregulated, that we only tax what is actually needed to fund the core functions of government, that does come to spending, that we invest in things that matter, like good infrastructure, expanding broadband, expanding water and sewer services, other key infrastructure, a great transportation network, and super important, investing in education. The products that come from this state, the workforce that this state produces, all centers upon having an educated, ready workforce. That doesn't just start in college. It doesn't just start in community college. It starts all the way in kindergarten and pre-kindergarten. Our state now invests more than in its history in pre-kindergarten in education to make sure children get a great start, investing more resources and also ensuring accountability for those elementary students. You will see even more record investment in public education, as well as alternate choices for those parents who choose to make sure that all children are getting the best education they possibly can. Now, we know it's not perfect, and we know there are challenges, and we continue to adopt policies to try to deal with that. But North Carolina students now are performing better than at any time in our state's history. Our graduation rate's the highest it's been. Students going to college and completing their degrees is the highest it's been. But we know we need to continue that. So you'll continue to see investment. Now, I mentioned a minute ago about COVID. Just like in your personal lives, in your businesses, COVID-19 has affected everything we can imagine. The way we do business. Think about how often you shake hands now. Think about the fact that when you go into buildings, you wear a mask. So many things that on just a daily basis in terms of just our personal habits that have been affected. There's no way to overstate the impact COVID-19 has had on this state and on our region. Well, North Carolina, because of frankly a very wise budgeting choices that we had made these prior sessions, putting aside money in the rainy day reserve when others said spend it all, keeping taxes low, investing in those key priorities such as education and health care, allowed North Carolina to weather this storm frankly better than most other states in the country. Look, there are states like New York, Illinois, California, much larger than North Carolina with larger economies that have multi-billion-dollar deficits. Choices that for years of just not making those tough choices those states have had, where North Carolina didn't do that. We reformed our system, everything from our unemployment system to the way we regulate on wage and hour and everything else to make sure that North Carolina has been lean and mean. We make sure that we put enough money aside to fund our health care, our pensions and retirement, and all of that has paid huge dividends. As we emerge from COVID-19, as our economy is rebounding, North Carolina is actually in the top 5 states in the country to continue to move forward. Those states I mentioned a minute ago that had the deficits, those are states right now that are having to raise taxes, where unemployment is much higher than our state. And guess what? Where residents are voting with their feet. They are leaving those states. There are more U-Haul vans leaving those states than coming into those states. And guess which states they're coming to? They're coming to states like Texas, they're coming to Georgia, and they're coming to North Carolina. They're coming to states that have a good, solid tax system and plan that's fair, that rewards hard work, that doesn't overtax its citizens, and that when it does spend money, it does so in key priorities. Now, economic development is an absolutely critical issue that we deal with in this, as we sort of assemble this, this pie, if you will, of things that we deal with. Economic development and job creation is one of the most important things that we can do. You will continue to see record investment in that, whether it is making sure we invest in the community colleges to help train workers, to retrain workers whose career perhaps has changed, to invest in things like advanced manufacturing, because we know the manufacturing of today is different than the manufacturing of 10 years ago. Just imagine what the manufacturing 10 years from now is going to look like compared to now. And so we need to make sure that we are being competitive as a state in training our workforce to be ready for those jobs of the future. This is an exciting time to serve in the legislature. It's an exciting time to be in North Carolina, because we have really weathered some very tough times. But you know what? Like always, North Carolina comes out ahead, and we're moving forward. I heard a quote from Warren Buffett the other day, and it stuck with me, and it was, "Never bet against America." Well, guess what? Never bet against North Carolina. And I appreciate your investment, both personally and your businesses, in what you're doing to build and expand jobs in North Carolina. You two are part of that. You're betting on North Carolina, and together we will win. Thank you.
We are proud to announce MDI as the winner of the Caldwell County Economic Development Commission's 2020 Industry of the Year Award. More than 25 years after announcing plans to build a state-of-the-art distribution center in Caldwell County, MDI has become the county's largest employer and one of the most successful homegrown businesses in all of North Carolina, if not the Southeast. MDI is a privately owned wholesale grocery store distributor that supplies more than 600 retail food stores in 12 eastern states. Founded in 1931 by Lebanese immigrant Moses George and his sons Alex and Lee, MDI has since grown into a multi-billion-dollar company that employs more than 1,700 workers across the Southeast. In October 2020, amidst a global pandemic and economic crisis, the company announced its largest expansion, signaling its continued commitment to the local community and further strengthening its role as a top performer in Caldwell County's economy. The $120 million, 200,000 square foot expansion to its main distribution facility includes the incorporation of a sophisticated automatic sort and retrieval system. The project will create 111 new jobs and assure the retention of 120 local jobs that would have departed if MDI had chosen another location. The project is one of the largest capital investment in Caldwell County's history and a major boost to the economy. Wages for the new jobs will average $51,635 annually, well above the county's 2020 average wage of $40,124. MDI projects the payroll alone having a $5.7 million impact on the state and local area. MDI has had an impressive list of expansions over the last 25 years, including the 1995 announcement of plans to build the initial $65 million facility on 481 acres in southern Caldwell County, followed by a $50 million expansion announced in 2008 that increased the facility's total footprint to more than 1 million square feet and the addition of 200 new jobs. Throughout the company's history, innovation has been at the center of its growth. In 1949, MDI was one of the first grocery wholesalers to introduce IBM's punch card tabulating equipment, and the innovation continues today as the new automatic sort and retrieval system puts the company at the forefront of today's ever-expanding automation push. The company also has shown a tremendous commitment to sustainability and community service, implementing energy-saving technology such as electric charging stations for refrigerated trailers, which save 30,000 gallons of diesel fuel each year, a motion sensor LED lights that save 4.6 million kilowatts annually, further demonstrates the company's emphasis on corporate responsibility and environmentally friendly practices. MDI also leads the way in community service through programs that supply local food banks and soup kitchens, as well as support of education, local nonprofits, and programs that enable employees to volunteer in the community. Congratulations to MDI for a well-deserved and unquestionably earned recognition as Caldwell County's 2020 Industry of the Year.
It's an honor to present the award for Industry of the Year to MDI. MDI is one of those companies that has bet on North Carolina, and has invested and has done well. Employing roughly 1,700 people in this region contributes so much. Getting food out to where it needs to be delivered, creating those jobs, being run in a very efficient way. This business is a role model for other businesses. So to the folks at MDI, congratulations on being named the Industry of the Year.
It's my distinct honor to be here at MDI today and to present them the 2020 Industry of the Year Award. And with that, we are truly grateful for the partnership that we have with MDI as well as all of our businesses within Caldwell County.
We are honored to be recognized with Caldwell County's Industry of the Year Award. Caldwell County and the Caldwell County EDC have been great partners since we first announced the MDI facility there 25 years ago. We have continued to grow and expand at the site, which has been possible due to the county's support and the dedication of our employees. We appreciate everything the county and the local community has done to support MDI and its growth. This expansion will not only give MDI much needed capacity, but it will also add well-paying jobs in the community. The state-of-the-art technology being used in the facility will also create improved work experience. We are committed to continuing to support the local community and look forward to the many more years of growth and success in Caldwell County.
This year's recipient of the Herman Anderson Award embodies that same spirit and philosophy and has been doing so for the past 10 years in her current role. Each year, this person goes about her business, leading economic development efforts in our county, never seeking any credit or attention. In fact, she would tell you that it's just her job. But I would submit to you that this past year's efforts were of a Herculean nature and so much more than a job. I would say that her work this past year was a personal calling that she embraced and a challenge that she accepted to ensure that Caldwell County weathered the COVID storm and came out stronger on the other side. And that is exactly what happened. 2020 was arguably one of the best years ever for economic development in our county. Here are just a few of the highlights. In 2020, Caldwell County saw 13 new economic development projects approved. These were either new or expanding business and industry initiatives. These projects accounted for nearly 1,000 new jobs and $4.6 million in grant funds. New investment projections for these projects total more than $172 million, and over $23 million of which is already under construction. To put it in perspective, in 2019, there were 8 economic development projects in Caldwell County, and in 2018, there were 10. And in 2019, there were $2.2 million in grant funds, less than half of what was allocated in 2020. And in 2018, that number was $1.2 million. New jobs in Caldwell County continue to be higher paying, with the average private sector wage now above $41,000 a year. And retail, commercial development, and healthcare continue to grow in Caldwell County. These economic development successes are truly remarkable, especially during a global pandemic, when many of our businesses were basically shut off to the public. These great accomplishments didn't just happen. They took tremendous leadership, vision, collaboration, and persistence, which is exactly what this year's Herman Anderson Award recipient provided. And while all of the great successes were happening in our community, we were all dealing with the challenges of COVID-19. When COVID first hit, people in our community were scared and really didn't know where to turn for answers. Businesses were struggling to find PPE. Agencies in every sector were seeking help with implementing safety protocols. Many business owners were desperately seeking PPP loans to keep their doors open. Technology challenges were looming at every turn, including lack of broadband, as businesses and citizens were trying to figure out how to operate in a virtual world. And then came the endless questions around COVID testing and then later, vaccinations. That is where this year's Herman Anderson Award winner stepped up yet again to meet the needs of this community. She became the central go-to person for everything COVID, and she was able to connect business and industry, healthcare, government, education, and other agencies to get answers and to get answers quickly. She even helped some of our manufacturers shift product lines to actually manufacture PPE to help meet the needs in our community. Our community's effective response to COVID was due in large part to her ability to bring the right people to the table to find local solutions. But why should we have expected any less? This is what she does every single day. She brings the right people to the table to advance economic and community vitality in Caldwell County. Ladies and gentlemen, I am thrilled to present this year's Herman Anderson Economic Development Award to Miss Deborah Murray.
It truly is an honor to receive the Herman Anderson Award, and it is something really quite unexpected. I never considered that a possibility for me. I thank you very much. A long number of years ago, when I was in college, I discovered economic development, but as luck would have it, my first job after school was at a newspaper in Atlanta. I had a great newspaper career, and it was publishing that brought me to North Carolina. And all through those years, economic development was a civic endeavor for me. And so when I had the opportunity to do this full time, it was a dream come true, and it still is a dream come true. I truly love this work, and there's absolutely nothing more fulfilling or rewarding than working hard to bring good things to our community that makes life better for everyone. Economic development is a team sport. It's certainly not an individual sport. So I have a lot of people to thank. First, I would thank the Caldwell County Commissioners and County Management for allowing me to do this every day. Thank you to the Caldwell EDC board members, past and present. A lot of friends there, a lot of hard workers, a lot of people committed to our community. To the EDC staff, thank you. To Bobby White, who has been my mentor, my friend, and my cohort in crime, and he still believes that one day there is hope that I'll be a bureaucrat just like him. Also want to say thank you to all of the many businesses and industries that we have worked with over the years. It's been their investment that has made the big difference in this county. Everything that this group of people that I have talked about has done have resulted in the successes that we're celebrating today. I thank all of you for the opportunity to work with them, and I would only be remiss if I didn't say one more thing. It is a great day to do business in Caldwell County, but it's a greater day to live and work in Caldwell County. Thank you.
We'd like to take a moment to thank Deborah Murray and her staff at the EDC for the jobs and the growth that we have experienced this year within our county. Through a pandemic, these certainly have been perilous times, but with that, Caldwell County has continued to grow and to prosper. And just as a few examples, we've brought $140 million in new private investment, pledging over 425 jobs. Those include Craftmaster Furniture, MDI with their expansion, as well as Wood Grain Millwork. And we welcome 2 new companies to our county this year, MMI Textiles and Meakin Printing. And under construction currently, we have over $23 million in projects that are creating an additional 451 jobs. If you do the math on that, that gives us $165 million in economic development projects announced that are under construction that'll generate over 966 jobs. So with that, I want to say thank you for being a part of Caldwell County. Thank all of our businesses that help us to continue to grow and to prosper. And because of you, this is what makes Caldwell County the place in which we all want to live, work, and play, and call Caldwell County home. We're looking forward to the 2021 year and our continued growth. And as we move forward, please continue to do the things that you're doing to make Caldwell County the best place that it can be. Thank you.